Hydrogen water bottle.
Hydrogen water bottle.
Hydrogen water bottle.
Hydrogen water bottle.
These are on sale in the TikTok shop for $20 right now.
So this is capitalism trying to get you to buy something that you don't need. While there is an exciting emerging area of research surrounding molecular hydrogen therapy and potential benefits that it has, the hydrogen water bottles that are on the market now, most likely not worth your money. So let's talk about it. What is hydrogen water? Hydrogen water is regular water that has had hydrogen gas, that is to say the molecule H2, dissolved into the water. And there's a couple of different ways you can make that happen. One way is by pumping straight hydrogen gas into some water that's under pressure. And you need that pressure because hydrogen gas doesn't dissolve well in water in the first place. Another way that you can make hydrogen water is by using these tablets that react when you add them to water and produce hydrogen gas. Again, you kind of still need some pressure there though, because a lot of it's just going to escape. The third very popular way, which leads us to these bottles, is electrolysis, wherein you pass an electric current through the water, and this causes the water molecules to react with the free electrons provided by the electric current and turn into oxygen gas and hydrogen gas. There's been a growing body of research regarding the potential therapeutic effects of molecular hydrogen on the body. And this isn't super new research. It's something people have been studying for some decades now. Over the last 5 to 10 years though, there's been a lot of interesting research regarding molecular hydrogen therapy and its potential benefits in humans for things like cardiovascular issues and oxidative stress generally throughout the body. So in terms of why people are exploring molecular hydrogen as a therapeutic, for one, it's not very harmful to the body, aside from the fact that it's unreasonably flammable as a gas. But for two, it's also a really good reducing agent. Why is that helpful? Your body is full of molecules, right? And these molecules, they're bonded, they're, collections of atoms attached to each other with electrons kind of holding them together. But every once in a while, a molecule in your body will break one of those bonds and end up with only one electron, where it should have had two. And when this happens, it's formed what's called a free radical. And these molecules are no joke. It's kind of like having bleach in your body. That's not exactly correct, but it's a similar sort of reactive species where once you've got a bunch of free radicals kicking around in your system, they will just tear up whatever's nearby usually. And things that are more amenable to being reacted with these free radicals will react first. That might be proteins, that might be cell membranes, that might be organelle tissue, that might be nerve endings, But if there's a bunch of hydrogen gas in your body, it's probably going to react with the hydrogen gas first. And that forms the basis of why people are looking into molecular hydrogen therapy as a means of reducing oxidative stress on the body as a result of free radicals. But unfortunately, we don't really understand a lot about how molecular hydrogen acts as a therapeutic in the body. What I just told you is just kind of the idea. And there are a lot of other questions that need to be answered before I think anybody should really be investing heavily in molecular hydrogen therapy for themselves, including how much you need for a given condition and how long you need to take it, whether or not hydrogen water is the best way to consume it, because you can also breathe hydrogen and take baths in hydrogen-rich water. No, I'm not telling you to go buy a tank of hydrogen gas and go huffing it. Don't do that. And even if there are interactions that hydrogen-rich water might have with some other medication or therapy you're undergoing. And beyond the fact that the mechanism of action for molecular hydrogen gas isn't necessarily understood very well, there are also just some issues with the nature of some of the studies that are being done in terms of the sample sizes and some of the controls on the administration of the hydrogen water, as well as even how the hydrogen water itself is produced. So all of this leads to a more research is needed kind of situation before really anybody should be investing in a personal hydrogen water generation device. Unless you got like 10 stacks to blow, in which case, Kofi. The nice thing about this one though is that likely the only thing that'll happen to you is you spent some money on a device that's not doing much for you, because hydrogen gas isn't really harmful to the body. Again, that's a big part of why it's very exciting that it might be useful for a lot of these things. We just need to understand how. That leads me to the bottles. Aside from the fact that I'm morally opposed to TikTok shop as a thing, these bottles are dubious at best, and here's why. For one, the bottles use electrolysis to produce hydrogen gas in the water. Any minerals or other things dissolved in the water might also undergo this electrolysis reaction and generate other things in the water that maybe you don't want to drink. I don't know. It depends on what's in the water. And that leads to the second thing, where the concentration of hydrogen gas that ends up in the water may not necessarily be as much as it says it's going to be on the box. The last thing, as I had mentioned earlier, hydrogen gas doesn't dissolve well in water. And because of this, if you want to get a good concentration of hydrogen gas in water, you have to have it under pressure. So unless the bottle you're using has some means of pressurizing itself, which means it's pretty expensive, probably not producing enough hydrogen to matter in the first place. And again, we don't necessarily know how much you need to matter to begin with. So it's a whole lot of money for something that at best probably isn't doing anything for you. But these ones at the TikTok shop, nah, I wouldn't. I don't think that those are in any way, shape, or form going to get you a meaningful amount of hydrogen dissolved in that water. But I hope this helped to clarify why people care about these bottles and whether or not you might want to consider getting one. And if you have other questions, feel free to throw them in the comments. Until next time, Skim Thug.